Greenland is not for sale. On the contrary, the island wants independence from Denmark. But why does Greenland not have independence already? Despite having the legal basis established for independence since 2009, Greenland remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark. What's holding them back? Today, we'll explore the challenges Greenland faces and its path to independence, and why it might be easier to talk the talk rather than walking the walk for Greenland. In 2009, Greenland gained the right to self-governance through the Self-Government Act. In its first paragraph, it states that recognizing that the Greenlandic people constitute a people under international law with the right to self-determination, this law is based on a desire to promote equality and mutual respect in the partnership between Denmark and Greenland. That's a pretty good start. Next, the agreement allows Greenland to assume responsibility for various policy areas from Denmark when the Greenlandic Parliament wants to. But since the law came into force 15 years ago, Greenland has only taken control of 3 out of 33 policy areas. These 3 areas are natural resources, work environment for offshore work, and time zone management. Important areas for an independent state, such as police, justice, border control, immigration, family law, telecommunication, food safety, etc., are still governed by Danish law. If the transfer of power to Greenland happens at this pace with only 3 areas per 15 years, it will take more than 150 years before Greenland is independent. And this might not even cut it, as there are more complex areas waiting in line. With a small population of 57,000, Greenland faces a shortage of professionals in critical fields including law, engineering, and administration. Only about 3% of Greenlanders, or 1,295 people according to Greenlandic statistics, have a master's degree or higher degree. This makes it difficult to set up and maintain the expected service levels in a modern welfare state, let alone secure the vast territory and manage external multinational corporations and erratic foreign leaders with colonial aspirations. You know who I'm talking about. About half of Greenlanders have no education beyond compulsory schooling. That compares to about 25% in the Nordic countries in general. To fill the ranks, Danish professionals play significant roles in education, healthcare, and administration, underscoring Greenland's dependence on external expertise. Moreover, the small population of Greenland is scattered across a massive area, with less than half living in Nuuk, the capital of Greenland. While it's romantic and tempting to imagine a future for Greenlanders living in harmony with nature and according to ancestral customs, the social melting pot of Greenland of today is a bit different. In reality, Greenland has a somewhat diverse population both ethnically and linguistically. A majority of Greenlanders are ethnically Inuit and speak Greenlandic, but about 12% have Danish as their first or sole language, and many are mixed race or Caucasian after hundreds of years of migration to Greenland from Denmark. Many Greenlanders have lived in Denmark, studied in Denmark, married with a Dane, or have Danish family and friends, and the same the other way around. Even though the Inuit core culture is indigenous and very different from Western European Danish culture, the Greenlandic society as a whole has a very close historical and cultural ties with Denmark. Unfortunately, alcohol consumption and drug use have impacted public health and social stability in Greenland a lot. This translates into domestic violence, where official reports and investigations have found that sexual abuse and violence in general and against children are widespread and a significant societal problem. Greenland's economy faces several hurdles as well. First of all, the economy is an island economy with a very harsh climate. That means that Greenland needs to import almost everything, as main goods like raw materials, wood, and produce are not available on the icy island. There are no real primary sector on the island except fishing that also occupy 15% of the workforce. For these reasons, there are also very little industry due to the lack of available raw materials. The remaining parts of the economy is largely public or semi-public services to make the society function. Thus, 44% of Greenlanders work in the public sector with healthcare, administration, and education, while 7% work in transport and logistics. Greenland's economy is based on large state-owned companies such as Royal Greenland, Royal Arctic Line, and Air Greenland. In 2024, Nuuk Airport was upgraded to facilitate bigger airplanes and cater for more tourism. But the season is short in Greenland and the tourism infrastructure is poor compared to similar small island economies like Iceland. This leads to high prices for incoming tourists, and the sector will probably remain small and cater to the few that can pay for the very unique experiences on Greenland. While Greenland has rich minerals and rare earth deposits, extracting is challenging due to harsh climates and infrastructure limitations. Also, the Greenlandic Parliament prohibited exploration of uranium in Greenland in 2021, leading to a lawsuit by the company ETM that was undertaking investigations in the Kvanefjeld mountain. Mining is probably the most obvious opportunity for diversification along with tourism. But if the regulatory stability is not there, then companies will not risk starting investigations. Because of the low gross domestic production in Greenland, Denmark provides an annual grant of approximately $500 million. This grant makes up more than half of the public budget of Greenland. Without this grant, the Greenlandic economy would collapse unless welfare services like education and healthcare would be scaled back, leading to a lower quality of life for Greenlanders. Greenland's journey towards independence is a complex interplay of demographics, economics, and politics. Politicians in Greenland have for many years sought re-election with the promise of independence. And yes, who doesn't want to be independent? However, Greenland is economically and demographically far away from becoming a viable and self-reliant economy. At the end of the day, you have to pay your own bills if you want to be the master of your own destiny. Making deals with Trump and the USA might help Greenland towards this goal, but the challenges that Greenland faces are much deeper both economically, socially, and demographically. As much as I would love to see Greenland becoming independent, I also sense a populist tendency in Greenland to criticize all that is Danish. Biting the hand that feeds you is a dangerous strategy, especially as Denmark is not really getting anything in return. Denmark used to secure American interest and security guarantees through Greenland, but with Trump in the White House, America's security guarantees are worth less and less by the day. Should Greenlandic MPs continue the anti-Danish rhetoric, it's also likely that popular opinion in Denmark might shift towards questioning why Danish taxpayers are paying to a nation that doesn't seem very grateful. Personally, I cannot think of a better partner for Greenland than Denmark if Greenland wants to pursue viable and sustainable self-reliance and independence. But what do you think? What is the best way for Greenland to pursue independence? Let me know in the comments below.